Okay, so just we're going to do a short practice as usual. We'll just stay with the same format, a 10-minute grounding practice, and then a slight break and moving on to a practice which will last probably about 20 minutes. So finding the position of practice, and allowing yourself some patience. And this patience doesn't need to be dull and boring. It can be really quite alive and bright. Allowing the time for the awareness to drop gently into the body. And we always practice with this gentle discipline, but also with a compassion to ourselves, easing into awakening. And I really like what Sylvia Boorstein says. She says, we're so often dangling in the present moment. And I can really relate to that dangling, not quite being embodied, not quite being grounded and anchored. Perhaps being caught up in what's happened in the past, or that forward movement into the future. So we can perhaps counteract that dangling by being aware of the body, either sitting or lying, however we've set up the posture. We're bringing our awareness to the weight of the body. And let's move through the body, beginning at the head, and perhaps noticing the position of the head. Does it feel balanced? Does it feel stable? Making any little adjustments. And having this intention of softening the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, allowing the scalp to relax. We might like to breathe down through the shoulders, breathe into the arms and the hands, breathing through the torso, and being aware of the back of the body, breathing down through the back of the body. Into the hips and the pelvis, just within this intention of softening, but whilst also having this dignity, this grace, this gentle commitment to the practice and to the posture. You might feel a sense of elevation through the spine. And the practice will indeed differ depending on whether we're lying or sitting. And if we're lying, just having this sense of alignment with the spine. You can still embody this grace and this dignity in practice. We're always aiming for something that's not too stiff, not too rigid, but similarly not too soft and floppy. Just finding our sweet spot, what supports our practice. And we may like also to include all of the parts of ourselves that make us female or make us male, or however we identify. But we're practicing with this real, personal, particular body, our body. Including what feels comfortable for you. Moving the awareness into the large muscles in the thighs, the knees, the calf, and the feet. Working with our direct experience of the body, sensations, maybe pleasant, maybe unpleasant, maybe neutral. Noticing if we're getting pulled away into a particular sensation, and seeing if we can acknowledge this and gently broadening the focus. And similarly, if the mind has wandered off into stories, into thoughts, acknowledging this and gently leading it back into the practice. Noticing has your sense of embodiment, your awareness deepened. It's not a test or a judgment, it's a simple noticing, noticing what's here in this moment. Allowing ourselves to be awake and easeful. And just when you're ready, bringing this practice to a close, a little movement into the body. And so, if we're feeling ready to move into the second part of the practice, perhaps making ourselves comfortable and re-establishing our intention, which is to practice mindfully, compassionately, and perhaps also feeling into a new motivation for this part of the practice. So we're going to encourage our stability and deepen our sense of grounding by working with some imagery. And we'll try to do this in an embodied way, making it part of ourselves, part of our experience. You may have done this practice many times before, seeing if you can bring an openness, a curiosity, this beginner's mind. Bringing the awareness deep into the body, body like a mountain, having a sense of stability, of groundedness, using the image of a mountain, whatever is helpful for you within that image, to create this sense of grounding. Maybe there's a strength through having this strong, stable base, connecting to the earth, and noticing how much our body wants to be part of the earth. We are made up of this earth element, not separate from, but very much part of the earth. Maybe bringing this sense of dignity that we often find in mountains into our practice, into our bodies. And also, again, once more, this patience and wisdom of a mountain. Body like a mountain. We may also be aware that whilst there's this strength and groundedness, the mountain also yields to the effects of external forces. It's subject to change. The seasons, the weather, erosion, age. Nothing really stays the same. And this too is true for us. Small, imperceptible changes day by day. Seeing if we feel comfortable to accept this impermanence within the practice in this moment. And then moving to the air element, breath like a wind or a gentle breeze. Connecting with our breath. Being aware of the aliveness and the vitality that's held within the breath. There's also this gentleness, this compassionate, tender breath. Seeing if we can connect with the elemental nature of the breath, the air inside of us, the air outside of us. Breath like a gentle breeze, the flow, once more meeting again the impermanence. Being aware of the ephemeral nature of the breath in quite clear contrast to the body like a mountain. Being aware of the different nature of these two. And moving our awareness to the mind. Mind like the wide open sky. Perhaps there's a clarity, a clearness. Or maybe there's a lot of activity in the mind. It's very busy with thought. Seeing if we can perhaps increase the container, making it wider, more expansive. Mind like the wide open sky. You may expand this spaciousness as far as feels comfortable for you. It may feel limitless, expansive, or it may feel more comfortable for you to have a smaller container. And this too is okay. And simply being aware of all that's contained here within the mind in this moment. Can rest within the complexity of our experience. Sometimes our desire for things to be simple can cause us quite a lot of stress. We live in such complex worlds. So allowing there to be room to hold whatever is here, whatever complexity, whatever activity. Encouraging this expansiveness, making room for it all to be here. Noticing when our attention wanders and drifts, perhaps into stories or thoughts, or maybe when it's tightening or resisting a particular thought. And now moving to the heart area and being aware of all that your heart carries in this moment. Maybe there's joy, or maybe there's longing. You carry many emotions in the heart space. And just having a sense of what's here for you in this moment. Heart filled with the light of compassion. If you feel able, connecting with this quality of light, warmth, tenderness within the heart space. Maybe there's a radiance that flows out from the heart. Or maybe today the light is smaller. And just knowing that we can hold compassionately here whatever needs to be held. The light of compassion within the heart space. Even this is only an intention, if it's not something that feels alive for you today, just leaning into this. And if parts of you are feeling agitated or ungrounded, we can return to the body like a mountain, the stability, the anchor of the body. Or if there's a great deal of activity in the mind, just connecting with the sense of spaciousness. We can guide ourselves to whatever feels most supportive for you in this moment, just being responsive to whatever is arising. Seeing if you can feel into that grounded, spacious, alive, responsive part of you. What's here for you in this practice, in this moment. And we're just going to start to draw this practice to a close. But there's no rush, just having this patience at the end of the practice as well as at the beginning, just allowing ourselves the time. And if it feels right for you, just bringing a little movement into the body. Allowing the eyes to blink open again.